Good evening. It's Tuesday night. Our Hatha Vinyasa. We're slightly behind schedule because I was toying with camera angles and talking with Remy. Because Remy's an interesting person and I love her so much. And she's joining us from New York tonight. So I'm very lucky to have her. So also in toying with my camera angles, you folks that are following on Insta might notice that my legs look really, really short on the video. I promise I didn't cut my legs off over the week. So it's obviously just a camera angle thing. So this week we are going to be influenced by the Adho Marudanda Mudra, which is the gesture of the base of the spine. I'm not going to go into all of the details about this mudra, except to say that tonight's practice is going to focus on strengthening the back. So without further talking about it, why don't we sit down? If you have a set of blocks, if you have a meditation pillow, if you have a thick blanket, you might choose to sit on that, because when we do that, notice how beautiful it is. It allows the hips to widen and open up and allows you to sit nice and tall, lifting up the heart center, bringing down the shoulders naturally, engaging your core muscles, but really opening up your energy channel from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of the head. Inhale our shoulders up, and then exhale the shoulders back and down, and move your body back in space, taking up more space, but sitting nice and tall, lining up the back of your head with your back body. Inhale through your nose, and then fully exhale. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale and exhale, expand the belly. Inhale, expand. And exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale. And fully exhale. If you want, you can close your eyes, drawing your attention inward, using your third eye. Inhale one more time. And fully exhale. Let's link breath with movement by starting with the inhale, hands up and overhead. And exhale your hands out and down. Inhale your hands out and up. And exhale them out and down. And let's inhale our hands out and up. And exhale them out and down. Let's place our hand on the left side on the floor. Inhale our right hand out, up alongside our right ear, and then curl over to the left. Draw your right shoulder back as you do this, as we move into seated half moon pose. Just starting to open up our sideways. Take a nice inhale, extend the arm. And then on your exhale, draw your right shoulder back, shining your heart center up a bit. Inhale, stretch out your right arm. Exhale, draw your shoulder back. One more inhale. Exhale, place your right hand down, take your left arm out and up alongside your left ear, curling to the right. Inhale, extend your right arm or your left arm. Exhale, draw your left shoulder back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, drawing it back. One more inhale. And then exhale, go ahead and drop that hand down. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale them down. One more inhale up. Exhale the hands down. Let's remove our blocks and move into tabletop position. I'm going to turn to the right so that you can see me well at home in your cameras. Stacking our hands directly under the shoulders, our knees under the hips. Draw the crown of your head forward as you draw your belly button up towards the spine. And try to draw your shoulders back and down. By doing so, you identify, hopefully, with all of your core muscles, your side waist, your solar plexus muscles, and you're drawing your shoulders together on your back. For proper alignment, I always encourage you to draw the shoulders away from the ears and down your back, creating length in your neck, drawing the crown of your head either forward if we're in a pose like this, or up to the ceiling if you're upright. Inhale, lifting up your heart center, dropping the belly, drawing the shoulders back and down as we move into cow. On your exhale, tilt your tailbone down, lift up your back towards the ceiling, drop your crown. Inhale, drop the belly, lifting up the heart center, drawing the shoulders back and down as you allow your sits bones to float up to the ceiling. Exhale, reverse that into cat, drawing your back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reverse that, lift up the heart, draw the shoulders back and down, lift up your hip bones. And then on your exhale, reverse all of that, drawing your back up to the ceiling. Let's do one final cow. And then exhale to a flat spine. Again, drawing up that belly button to the spine, drawing your shoulders back and down, widening the collarbones. Inhale your left leg up. Inhale your right arm up. Continue to draw the belly button up. As you engage in this pose, draw your right hand forward, draw your left heel back, but continue to pull the belly button up and breathe. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, drop your right hand, drop your left knee. Inhale your right leg up and your left hand up. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, draw your hand and your foot away from each other as you draw your belly button into the spine. Toes are pointed towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach left hand forward, right foot back. And then exhale, drop your left hand, drop your right knee. Inhale into cow, lifting up the heart center. And then exhale, reversing into cat. Inhale into cow again. And exhale into cat. Join me at the top of the mat. So my top of the mat is going to be here tonight. On my round mat, I always feel like I need to tell the audience where my top is going to be. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, draw your crown up to the ceiling as you circle your hands down, moving into mountain pose. Create as tall and strong a mountain as you can, drawing the belly button in, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, bring your hands up. Exhale, bring your hands down as you grow your spine long. Inhale, draw your hands up. On your exhale, slightly bend your legs, folding over your thighs as we go into our first forward fold. Drop your crown. Feel free to leave your legs deeply bent. Go ahead and separate your feet, perhaps 2 fist distance apart, and take your elbows. And just hang here for a moment, opening up the backs of the legs, beginning to warm up the back. Maybe you want to just swing one side to the other. And then maybe you want to open up the backs of your legs by first straightening your right leg And then switch and straighten out the left leg. And as you go back and forth, time it to your breathing. So inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend both legs. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, bend both legs. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, bend both legs. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, bend both legs. You can drop your hands to the floor, bend your legs deeply on your inhale, roll all the way up. When you arrive at the top, your chin is still touching your chest. Inhale your shoulders up and back down. And then inhale your hands up, lifting up your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we're going to go into some sun salutations to warm up the entire body. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop the crown. Inhale into a flat spine, drawing the crown of your head forward as you press your hands against your legs. Exhale, fold down and take your right foot back. Initially, we're just going to take this lunge with our hands on the floor. So we're in a high lunge. You can also drop your right knee if you want to. But what I want you to focus on is drawing your heart through and up. Square off your hips by drawing your right hip forward, drawing your left hip back, strengthening your pelvis, lifting up the heart center. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, place your hands on the floor. Take your left foot back to join the right. And now we're going to take a plank. Inhale. Exhale, drop your knees. Bring your elbows into the chest. Drop your chest. Drop your chin. Inhale, bringing the heart center forward, rising up into baby cobra. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower down and move back to child's pose into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring your right foot forward into that high lunge. Again, draw your right hip back as you bring your left hip forward, squaring off the hips. Drawing your heart center through as you bring your shoulders back. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, bring your left foot forward. Inhale into that flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward into forward fold. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your left foot back again into that lunge. Drawing the left hip forward as you bring your right hip back. Inhaling your heart center up and your crown forward. Exhale, moving back into plank. Inhale. Exhale, drop the knees. Elbows into the ribs. Drop the heart center, drop the chin. So we're like an inchworm. Inhale, lowering the hips, lifting up the heart center in low cobra. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, moving back through child's pose into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, bring your left foot forward into that high lunge again. Inhaling your heart center forward, drawing your right hip forward as your left hip moves back. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bring your right foot forward to join your left. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, hands down. Take your right foot back. And then on the inhale, rise up your hands into Anjaneyasana. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Take your left foot back to join the right, dropping your knees, elbows into the ribs, dropping your chin and your chest. Inhale into low cobra. Exhale, moving through child's pose into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, take your right foot forward. And then inhale, rise your hands up. Inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Left foot to join your right. Inhale into a flat spine, exhale down. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your left foot back. Inhale, rise up into Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Take your right foot back to join your left in plank. Exhale, drop your left knee. Drop both knees, I'm sorry. Elbows into ribs, chin and chest to the floor. Inhale up into low cobra. Exhale, moving through downward facing, or through child's pose. Up into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, take your left foot forward and rise on your inhale into Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down, right foot to join your left. Inhale into a flat spine, exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your right foot back. Rise up on the inhale and Anjaneyasana. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, lower your hips by bending your left knee more deeply, lifting up your heart center at the same time. Let's get a nice extension of the right hip in this pose. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle down. Left foot back to join right. Let's lower in regular plank now. So lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Inhale into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, push back into your dog. Hips high up in the air and moving backwards in space, allowing your heart center to draw towards the floor. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bring your right foot forward. Inhale, rise into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, bend your right knee more deeply, opening up your left hip now. Inhale, lift up your heart center. Exhale, lower your hips. One more inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Left foot to join right. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, our hands down. Inhale, our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, hands down. Take our left foot back. Rise up into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, sink those hips. Inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Right foot back to join left in plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move your hips back. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, take your left foot forward. And inhale, rise your hands up. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, sink the hips. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Right foot to join left. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. So you should feel nice and warmed up now. So we're going to move into some back bending poses. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, hands down. Moving back to plank pose. So let's just hold plank for 5 breaths. As you're in plank, draw your heart center forward as you bring your heels back and pull up the belly button. Try to bring your shoulders onto your back. Feeling all of those core muscles firing off. Make sure your booty's not up high and make sure it's not sinking down low. So you have your one continuous long board shape from your heels all the way to the crown of your head. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Place your elbows right underneath your shoulders. And as they are underneath your shoulders, clip them back, lifting up your heart center, drawing your shoulders down and away from your ears. Feel all of those back muscles that are engaged when you enter into Sphinx pose this way. So a lot of people just think Sphinx pose is a front body stretch, but it's really a back strengthener at the same time when you engage these muscles. So take a nice inhale and exhale. Draw the shoulders back and down as you lift up your heart. Inhale. Exhale. And take another inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Place your hands under your shoulders and let's move back into child's pose. So we're going to do a lot of back and forth of these poses to strengthen the back, offset by a little bit of stretching in child's. So in child's pose, widen your knees, place your toes together, and allow your belly to fall in between your legs. Drawing your hands forward, widening your collarbones, stretching out that area underneath your armpits. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, move back into Sphinx pose. However you arrive there. And now what I want you to do is straighten out your arms. So this is kind of like crocodile, but we're going to be still using our arms to support us. So draw your shoulders back and down in the Sphinx pose. Clip your elbows back, lift up your heart center, take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, just keeping your hands in place, straighten out your arms. So you'll feel a nice arch in the lower back. Continue to draw your heart up to take any tension out of the lower spine. Where I want you to feel this is really dead center in the middle of the spine. So not at the base of the spine, but just above your lumbar area. And it should actually feel good. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lifting up your heart center, pushing the floor away. Inhale. And then exhale, lower back down into cobra, or into Sphinx, and then move back into downward facing dog. Stretching out your back, feeling the release of those muscles. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, fully exhale. And then inhale, moving forward, lowering back down. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, draw your shoulders up to your ears, and on your exhale, draw them back and down as you rise up into low cobra. So in low cobra, the movement is really in the back and the arms are slightly supporting you. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then exhale, draw them back onto your back as you lift up your heart center. Lower down. Inhale, bringing your shoulders up to your ears as you lift up, and exhale, drawing the shoulders back and down. And then exhale down. Go ahead and tuck your toes and move back into child's pose again. Reaching your hands forward, allowing your back to relax. Nice big inhales and exhales, expanding the belly. One more inhale. And fully exhale. Move back to the belly. Lower all the way down. It just keeps getting fun from here. So now what I want you to do is stack your hands right underneath your chin. Your elbows are out to the side. and your hands are in front of your chest, but under your chin. And so what I want you to do is rest your chin on your hands. So by doing so, you might feel extension of the spine as all of your vertebrae start to spread out, laying here flat on the floor, belly completely pressed onto the floor with your chin on top of your hands. Now, here's where the fun starts. I want you to inhale, fully exhale, and then pretend that the floor is rising up and lifting your forearms and your hands with it, with your chin still attached to your hands. So inhale, rise up, all in one unit, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up, drawing up your shoulders, drawing up your forearms. Exhale down. Inhale, rise up, and hold it this time. 3 breaths. And then exhale, lower down. So that might have felt kind of weird, but that is really concentrating the energy in the spine without using your hands to support you. Now take your hands down alongside your arm, or alongside your hips rather. Put your forehead on the floor. Take a nice inhale. And fully exhale. And then on your inhale, just lift up your heart and your shoulders, allowing your arms to rest on the floor. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up as much as you can, drawing your shoulders away from the ears, back and down, using just your back muscles to lift you up. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up, lifting your heart and your shoulders off the floor. Feet are pressed to the floor, backs of your hands are resting on the floor, and hold it for 3 breaths. Final inhale, and then exhale, lower down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, toes together, widen your knees, move back into child's pose. And go ahead and reach your hands forward as far as you can, really having a nice stretch along the entire spine. Take a nice inhale. And fully exhale. Your back should feel nice and warm right now. Take another inhale. Fully exhale. Move forward again to the belly. Now we're going to lift up the legs. So place your forehead on the floor, arms down alongside your hips. And let's just do one leg at a time to start. So point your right toes. Keep your left leg nicely pressed into the floor. And hinging from your hip bone, I want you to lift up your leg in unison, just lifting from the hip bone. So feel that hip bone pressing into the floor as you lift your entire leg, engaging all of the muscles on the back of the leg. Your toe, mine's pointed. It doesn't have to be pointed. It doesn't really change what the leg is doing, but somehow pointing makes it feel different. Take a nice inhale, exhale, lower down. You can also do a half point with your foot. So as you lift up your leg and you feel your hip bone pressing into the floor, you might notice that my toes look like they're pressing against an imaginary floor. So I've got a half point going on where my toes are facing the floor, but my foot is pointed. Take a nice inhale, exhale, lower down. Now let's do that side again and see how far can you lift up that leg hinging from the hip and using all the muscle in the back of your leg. Inhale, lift up your leg as high as you feel you can. And then exhale, lower down. Now let's do that on the other side. Inhale, lift up the left leg, pressing the left hip bone into the floor. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift that up. Exhale, lower down. And then on your next inhale, rise it as high as you can, engaging the muscles on the back of the leg. And then exhale, lower it down. So your next challenge
because you're going to lift both legs at the same time. So inhale, hinging from the hips. Trying not to bend your legs, trying to keep them straight. Inhale, lift up. This is called lotus. And then exhale, lower down. So try to engage these muscles in your lower spine because you're strengthening them by doing this. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. And the reason I'm telling you not to bend your legs is because when you keep your legs straight, it forces you to use all of these muscles from your lower spine all the way down your legs. Inhale, lift up your legs as high as you feel you can. And then exhale, lower down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Widen your knees, toes together. Move back into child's pose. Stretching out your hands in front of you. Take a nice inhale and fully exhale. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and sit up. So among back bending poses, laying on your stomach, if you wanted to continue, you could then move into like Superman pose, or what they would call boat pose, but you're on your stomach. Or you could move into a bow, where you grab both of your legs behind and rise up legs and shoulders at the same time while holding onto your feet. So those are some options also to strengthen the back. But we did a lot of concentrated effort on this part of the spine, so we're going to give it a little bit of a break. Lean forward, tuck your toes, and sit back on your feet. We're just going to stretch out the feet. It's always a good idea to stretch out the feet. And I like to do this as part of every routine, is just give the feet a little chance to open up through some stretches like this. Now, let's sit back, either sit back flat on our feet like this, or if you want to join me in hero, you would separate your feet, leave your knees together, and sit down in between. So for some people, this rotation in the hip is very painful. They're not ready for it yet. You can sit up on a block if you want to, or on a blanket. But doing these deep knee bends is very good for your joints. Very good to bring synovial fluid into the joints. As some would say, juice them up. So let's juice the joints by just sitting here for just a moment. Let's take one more inhale while we're sitting here. Exhale, move back into tabletop and find your way into downward facing dog. So in your downward dog, just find the longest dog that you can. Pushing your hips back in space, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, really lengthening the backs of your legs. Maybe now your heels are able to draw down towards the floor. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, moving your hips back in space and up, drawing your heart center towards the floor, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, lift up your right leg to hip height, or maybe even higher, but really work on your dog, a three-legged dog here. Just keeping your legs parallel with the floor, keeping your hips squared. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower down your right leg. And on your inhale, lift up your left leg. Same thing, just really focusing on a strong three-legged dog. Moving your hip back in space, keeping your foot pointed towards the floor, leg parallel to the floor. Inhale, exhale. Let's move forward into plank. Strengthening the core, drawing your heart center forward. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, move back into downward facing dog, drawing your Abdominal muscles in as you move backwards. Inhale, move forward into plank. And then exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward into plank. And then exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward to plank, lower chaturanga dandasana. And then let's just go back into Sphinx pose again. Give our arms a little bit of a break. Draw the heart center up, strengthen the lower back, or the whole back actually. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale. Let's find our way back to tabletop. And then rise up on our knees. So let's do gate pose and half circle pose. They're nice poses for opening up your side body. So one of the things you may find with your lower back is that when you have opening of the side waist, you have less tension on these muscles of the lower back. You have more room for your hips to open, and then the lower back feels healthier. So a lot of times in my gentle yoga class, I do this gate circle sequence back and forth because it feels good. It's a nice way to open up the body. It warms up the spine, and you will enjoy it, I promise. So place your hands on your hips to start. Putting all of your weight on your left knee, take your right foot out to the side, toes pointed forward, heel or the sole of the foot is in full contact with the floor. Take our hands out into warrior two arms. Lift up and out of the hips with your heart center lifting, crown of your head drawing up. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, go into that circle, that half circle, by placing your left hand on the floor, right hand to the ceiling. Lift up your hips a little bit towards the ceiling and get a nice stretch all along your right side waist. Take a nice inhale. And then if you want to, you can kind of drop your arm back a little bit to open up the heart center, open up the front of the body, maybe move the hips forward just a little bit. Feel that nice opening, that nice stretch. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, bring your hand back up to the ceiling. And then on your inhale, lift up. Exhale, let's go into gate. Place your right hand on your right leg, left hand to the ceiling, or maybe curled over. So nice stretch all along the inside of your right thigh and all along your left side body. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, draw your left shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, rise up into those warrior two arms, and then continue to go to the floor in the circle pose, in the half circle. Inhale. Exhale, rise up, placing your right hand on your right leg, moving into gate. Inhale, moving into half circle. Exhale, rising up, moving into gate. And then inhale, returning to warrior two arms, hands to the hips. Place your right knee next to your left and take your left foot out to the side. Inhale, lift up and out of those hips, bringing your hands up to warrior two arms. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, dropping into half circle, dropping your right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling, lifting up your hips slightly. Really getting into the stretch of this pose. You might feel it more on one side than the other. Inhale, lift up your arm. And then on your exhale, perhaps open up your heart center by allowing that arm to drop back, pushing your hips slightly forward, opening up the heart center, a little bit of an arch in the back. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bring your left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, rise up into warrior two arms. Inhale, dropping into gate pose on the left side, bringing your right arm to the ceiling, maybe even curling to the left, bringing that right arm alongside your right ear as you curl. Inhale. Exhale, draw your right shoulder back, exposing your heart center just a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, rising up into warrior two arms. Inhaling, dropping your right hand to the floor. Exhale, rising up and going into that half circle, or into gate, I'm sorry. Inhale, drop your right hand on the floor, left hand to the ceiling as you go into half circle. Exhale, left hand to the left leg as you go into gate. Inhale, right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling. And then exhale, rising up, moving back into gate one last time. And then inhale, hands to warrior two arms, hands to the hips. Bring your left foot in to join your right. So I'm going to turn to the side again. And what we're going to do is not really go in to camel, although we can if you want. But what I want you to focus on with your hands on your hips is just lifting up the heart center and drawing your shoulders back and down and drawing your elbows together. If you could bring your elbows together. So you're just bringing your elbows straight back. And we're just lifting up and creating a little bit of an arch in the spine. Lifting out of the lower back, feeling that curl right through here, through the thoracic area. This is the thoracic area through here, right underneath where your bra strap would be. So keep on lifting up and feeling the curl there as you draw your shoulders back and down and draw your elbows together. Take a nice inhale and then exhale. You can sit back on your heels and just fold over your thighs, allowing the muscles of your back to release. And then inhale, rising up, swinging our feet in front. We're going to take two more back strengthening poses before we start moving into some stretches. So I would like you to take your hands and place them behind your hips, about hip width apart, fingers facing forward. Your legs are bent with your knees facing the ceiling. Your toes are facing forward. And you can actually move your hands back a little bit so they're more underneath your shoulders. And then what you're going to do on your inhale is you're going to go into a reverse tabletop. So you know what tabletop looks like when your knees are on the floor and your hands are on the floor and your belly is facing the floor. Now you're going to create that same shape, only your back is going to be facing the floor. So take a nice inhale, exhale, and then inhale, lift up your hips so that your back becomes parallel with the floor. Allow your knees to move forward as you lift up your hips. So instead of splaying out like this, keeping your legs parallel to one another, lifting the hips to get this nice shape. If you want to, you can drop your head back, but this strengthens the arms and strengthens the entire back. Take one more inhale, exhale, lower your hips down, lean forward and maybe hug your legs, just stretch out your back. And then our next pose, you can join me as I go into a reverse plank, or you can take that reverse tabletop again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten out my legs, sitting here in staff pose. I'm going to place my hands back where they were. I'm going to point my toes. I'm going to take a nice inhale, fully exhale. And then on my next inhale, I'm going to lift up my hips, but my legs will be straight. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it for 3 breaths. So you can take tabletop or you can attempt this one. My toes are pointed towards the floor, so my foot is in total contact with the floor. So that means my calves are engaged, my hamstrings are engaged, my lower back is engaged. Holding this, holding, holding, holding. One more inhale, lift the hips. And then exhale, lower everything back down. And bend your legs and fold over your legs. You're leaving? Go ahead. Fold over your legs. Give your back a little bit of a break. So tomorrow, what I hope you feel is that your back was worked, but you should not feel pain. Because you've been equally using the muscles of your back, using the entire back. And it does raise the heart rate. You can hear that my breathing is a little bit faster. That's good. Take a nice inhale. Slowly exhale. And then take whichever setup you're going to choose. You can have your legs bent like this. You can have them straight out in front in staff. Hands behind you. Take a nice inhale, lifting up the heart center. Exhale. And then on your next inhale, lift up your hips. Move my hands back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift the hips. And then exhale, move them down to the floor. Lift up your heart center. And then on your exhale, bend your legs and fold over them. Ah. Ah. So now we can choose to do traditional pigeon, but since we're already here like this, why move around? Let's try seated pigeon today. So to move into seated pigeon, to really open up the hips, it's really very effective in opening the hips. You can go. You can cross your right leg, right ankle over your left knee. Initially, just start out like I am. Notice that my hands are pretty far behind my back. I'm lifting up my heart center. My back is straight, but not straight up and down. So my back is not curled, it's straight, but there's quite a bit of distance between my leg and my body because my torso is at an angle. Now, if you flex your toes and bring them back towards your knees, that protects that right knee. And then to begin to open up the hip, yeah, that was really stellar, honey. That was smooth. Goodbye, love you. So then you walk your hands towards your back, not changing anything with your left foot yet. So right now my left foot is out in front, but it's pretty far away from my body. So you can continue to walk your hands towards you. And then if you want to increase the stretch on the outside of your right hip, then you start to move that left foot closer. So I can move it a lot closer. I'm going to lift up my hips and move closer to that leg, to that heel rather. But if you find that you want to stay right where you're at, that's totally acceptable. I want you to use what your body signals are as your guide. So what we're going for with any stretch is that we are approaching the edges, not seeking shearing pain. Over time, your body is going to open up and you can never force it to happen. And the best way to help the body to open up is to keep good alignment principles. So notice at the heart level, the heart is still lifting, the back is still straight. And the more I lift up the heart, the more I create an opening of my right hip. And then I just talk and distract myself and continue to breathe. So you can really focus on that hip, but sometimes that's a little bit torturous. I'd rather just allow the body in kind of a yin way to open up in its own way by giving it the space to do it. So when we lift up the heart center, we make a little space in our hips and it allows that hip to start to open up and you might start to feel a little bit greater stretch on the outside of it. Now I find that I can even move my buttocks even closer to my heel and I can sit up even taller and increase that stretch even more. So you do whatever your body says it can handle. And we're going to just breathe 1 or 2 more times here. One more breath. And then on your exhale, go ahead and release out of that. Go back to that original pose that we were in with our knees bent and our body kind of far away from our legs. Placing our hands behind us. Cross our left ankle over our right knee. So this might be where you're at on this side, and you might find that one side is more open than the other. My left side is always more open. I'm also more open this time of the night versus morning. So You find your body is changing throughout the day, and it will change from day to day. And, you know, in the spirit of ahimsa, the do no harm principle, you are always honoring where the body is and giving it what it needs in the moment and being okay with that, releasing attachments to whatever you think your body is supposed to be. Now you can start to walk your hands closer if you want, move your hips closer to your heel if you want. You decide the degree of depth you want to go to in this deep stretch. But I can promise you this, your back is going to be very happy tomorrow. That's what I do believe. And sometimes when we do these routines that really focus on our back, we feel the benefits for several days. So we don't just feel the benefit now. We may not just feel it tomorrow. You may feel that your back is healthy and strong and limber for several days. I've worked with people with back injuries, and these types of back strengthening exercises, you almost can do no wrong with them. It's very hard to hurt yourself with them because you're just using the muscles of your body, of your spine to get you there. Okay. So let's breathe a couple more times in this pose. Lifting up the heart center perhaps. One more inhale. And exhale, you can release out of that. Let's find our way lying down. So go ahead and lay down on the floor, hug your legs, hug them nice and tight. And let's cross our right leg over our left, kind of like eagle legs. Place our hands out to the side, and then drop our legs to the left. And when we do that, you might feel even a greater stretch all around the outside of this right hip in this reclining twist. We've done a lot of back work today. So there's two parts. There's the strengthening of the lower back, but there's also the releasing of all of those muscles. So we're pulling our muscles away from the center of the spine. It's a nice way to open up the back. Take another inhale, and then exhale. Bring your legs back up to the chest and hug them. Then cross your left leg over your right. And then drop your legs to the right. Encouraging a nice stretch all along the outside of your left hip. And one more inhale. And exhale, return your legs back to the neutral spot. Hug your legs again. And let's find our way into Shavasana. Extending our legs out towards the front of the mat. That's where your body orientation was. Maybe taking the time to lift up your hips and wiggle them out to make sure that your sacrum is in firm contact with the floor, that your lower back is firmly contacting the floor. Palms facing the ceiling. Maybe wiggle your shoulders in such a way that they're more comfortable so that your shoulder blades are resting on the floor also. Start to breathe in and out of your nose. Focusing your attention on the crown of your head and releasing any tension you're holding there. On your next inhale, Focusing your attention on your eyes and your forehead, and on your exhale, releasing all of the tension in that part of your face. Allowing your sockets to get deeper, allowing your eyeballs to fall more heavily into them. Take an inhale and relax all of the muscles of your face, the skin above your ears. Take another inhale. And on your exhale, relax your nose, your upper lip, your chin. Allow your jaw to be a bit slack, so relax your jaw muscles. Take a nice inhale. And relax all of the muscles of your neck, the front of your neck, the back of your neck. Relax your collarbones and your shoulders. And the muscles of your chest. Inhale. On your exhale, relax your arms, your forearms, all your fingers. Allow your ribs to start to relax and create space between each of them, resting towards the floor. Inhale. And on your exhale, relax your abdominal muscles, relax your back. Inhale. On your exhale, relax your lower belly, relax your hips, relaxing your upper thighs. Inhale. On your exhale, relax your thighs, the space above your knees, and your kneecaps. Inhale. On your exhale, relax your calf muscles, relax your shins, relax your ankles and your feet. And now just rest here in Shavasana for 3 to 5 minutes, fully enjoying the benefits of this practice, falling into a deep state of relaxation. So you may continue to lie here in Shavasana for as long as you want. I want to thank you for joining me tonight for Hatha Vinyasa Yoga. I will hold an early morning chair class on Christmas Eve morning. And tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., I will be holding gentle yoga. I invite you to go and visit my Facebook page, Kathleen Coombs Yoga. I invite you also to check out my website, KathleenCoombsYoga.com. And please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe so that you can be alerted whenever any new videos come out.
And like this video when it hits. The light in me joins the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste.